I've got 3 things to say today. ChatGPT, ChatGPT, ChatGPT. This is the next level. ChatGPT is up next. I don't know if people are keeping up with what has just been released. OpenAI has released another language model, and this is the future. The future is actually now. We actually have Jarvis in our hands. I spent a ton of time yesterday literally just learning with it, and it is crazy. I also do game dev, and it was solving game dev problems for me. It is absolutely incredible. It mimics imagine, it's like a lot like the master and apprenticeship days where it was the best time to learn. Maybe you were the butcher's son and you wanted a future that was profitable for the town or lucrative for your potential family in the future. Well, you became an apprentice, maybe for your butcher parents or from the local blacksmith. And then from that time forward, you would go to that place every day and learn hands-on skills and get unstuck by someone who was already a master. The master and the apprentice, the Jedi and the Padawan, the Grandmaster LeetCode programmer and the Silver LeetCode programmer, right? And the reason why this is so busted for learning is because one of the greatest things that, when you look at things like deliberate practice or learning that helps the most with having a master is getting unblocked, getting to ask directed questions, getting someone to show you exactly where you're failing. These things are so hard to automate. And at the same time, maybe there's a compatibility required between the master and the apprentice, communication-wise, or even skill-wise, or even how they conceptualize problems. So it's not even that every master will work for you. Maybe you need a master that is so good at solving every solution, but with random, almost a random-like style. Just like every top chess player, they all have different styles. Some of them love to be calculating. Some of them love to create impossible positions on the board. Some of them are really good in certain specific portions of the game. Some of them are really good at opening. And those are all their styles of play. And what is incredible about all of this is that you can throw this all into ChatGPT and just say, hey, help me out. So for example, I write games using the Play Canvas game engine for it to be cross-platform. And I already wrote a camera script to track an entity because of the game I'm making. And I was curious to test the output. Play Canvas is relatively a neat niche game engine. It's for HTML games. And I asked it to write a Play Canvas script that will track an entity and and give me that script. It wrote the script perfectly. And then I was like, this is good, but can you make the camera lag behind the entity a little bit? It looks a little too rigid. And it also added that code as well. And I also wanted to trick it. I said, can you also give me an ease in cubic function for the tweening? And it also added that. That is absolutely incredible, and the time is now. So yeah, it's just incredible to see what people are creating, what people are using it for. And I have no doubt that I'll use this in my day-to-day work. And because it's just, you can ask it almost any question. I know some people are saying the answers aren't always the best, but just the sheer level, like the amount of questions you can ask and how they can be answered is absolutely incredible. For example, I already know how Dijkstra's algorithm works relatively, and I wanted to get some more intuition. And I was like, well, explain to me Dijkstra's algorithm like I'm 5 years old. Gives me a great explanation. I said, that's okay, but can you replace the subjects in the story with kids' toys? And that explanation is even easier to read. Then you could say, can you simplify it a bit more? And it just gets better and better. And it's just unbelievable to see. It really is. At this point, we really just have a Jarvis. Everyone's got a Jarvis in their pocket now. And we thought the iPhone was incredible, but this is something else. So I have no doubt in the next coming years, this is just the research preview. And we don't even have Stable Diffusion's version yet. Or, when they swap out GPT-3 and throw in GPT-4, it'll be, I think a lot of this stuff is coming so much sooner than we think, especially the difference in parameters between GPT-3 and GPT-4, at least estimatedly. But yeah, this is absolutely incredible. And yeah, I don't know what to do. Actually, I know what to do. I plan to just work. Today, I just plan to work on a bunch of different things that I'm stuck on. and just get unblocked. And I know also people are wondering. I don't pretend to have all the answers, but I know there are other things I read. People were saying they were worried that people wouldn't be able to learn anything anymore. This would be like the eradication of education. But I really don't see it that way. I see it how these things just need a lot of rethinking. I imagine a lot of the papers I used to write in college and even in high school, they were kind of meaningless paraphrases of things I read online. And now, any AI made in the last 6 years could do that, remedially. So we need a new way of assessing skill and also figuring out what we actually want to teach people to do. Do we want to teach them to just regurgitate or paraphrase what they read online? Or do we want them to actually critically think? Do we want to push them in ways that, further their expansion of maybe their biases towards others, their environment, whatever? And I think that might be a better way. And maybe we can do it with the help of AI and stuff like that. But another interesting example, I saw a teacher ask her AI to grade a student's paper. It graded the student. A teacher gave AI a prompt she gives her students. It generated an incredible essay. She then asked the AI to grade it, and then she then asked the AI to write constructive feedback on the paper the AI wrote for a specific grade of student. And it's just incredible. And I think we never thought we would get something this powerful. So it's almost hard when you show people it. It's almost hard for them to think of what to do with it because they have no idea. They had no idea something like this could ever be possible. So it's almost like, oh wait, you could get it to grade all your papers. You could get it to generate all your essays. You could get it to, and these things still require oversight. Not every output is perfect, but the fact that it's conversational almost overwrites most of that issue. So it's incredible, and yeah, it's just incredible. So if you aren't using it, you need to use it. And yeah, so AI is up next, and I think the time is now. It remains to be seen what people will do with it. People have already built entire apps using ChatGPT. The thing is, the beautiful part about it is that you still need to understand code. And I did the same thing with the Play Canvas script it generated. It wasn't perfect, but it was really close. And really close was all I needed. The code it wrote didn't have the perfect use case, but the reality was, for me to write that code to track the camera, it's simple in principle. But I'm not really that familiar with Play Canvas. There's also ways that the nodes are structured in Play Canvas that I'm not exactly used to. So it took me about 2 days to write that camera script, and to half understand it. I got an output from ChatGPT that was 100% commented that required me to change one line to work. I still understand all the code because you still need to know what's good and what's bad. And I think that's the beauty in all of this in the end, is that I don't think this will eradicate critical thought, because one of the greatest keys in critical thought, posited by many great philosophers, many great thinkers, is always been the key, which is to ask great questions. And at the heart of getting output that you need out of ChatGPT, you must hone the skill of asking a good question. And I think if everyone gets good at asking really good questions, we can't help but not learn more about each other. We can't not help learn more about our environment, our people around us, ask more or ask deeper questions about ourselves and what we're doing here. So I think we have a lot to get out of this, and I think it's a really, really good place to go. But yeah, it's only day one. So in a week or a month, I don't know where we'll be, what's going to be going on, but this is crazy stuff. So the future is now. And for the moment, even myself, I was like, oh yeah, my job's done. So if you're a programmer, you got hey, I'm going to keep it 1,000. You got about 10 years, maybe 10 years. And yeah, you got about 10 years. So you might want to stack it up as long as you can before it's too late. So I don't want to be a hysteria guy. I'm just joking, but I don't think it's going to take away any jobs or anything like that. But it has a different effect that ends up with the same, has a different symptom which ends up with the same effect. For example, on the construction site, you needed to have way more workers to build the amount of buildings we have now. And while we've not taken away any jobs. The amount of technology we've created, from the miter saw to the chainsaw to the forklift operator number 2 to the crane. I mean, the amount of leverage that one person can have with the flick of a button, a wrist, a pedal on a floor. You can activate, even myself, I can activate 3 tons of force if I get in my car and put my foot on the gas pedal. That was impossible, how many years ago? But just allowing one person to do that, changes their whole life. One person can do an entire DIY project they might have had to pay a contracting company for. Industrialization with stuff like Amazon and like packaged to your door in 2 days. Now I can have a whole warehouse of tools for the price of $200 and just start building more. It's crazy. So I guess the leverage that one person can have, if we think of this as a gearbox, we're not removing any jobs, but I think the fact that one person, and this is especially true in programming where the work and the optimizations are text-based. Back in the day, you needed, if you were dropping a game, you needed maybe quite a few devs. If you were an internet company, you needed a few more devs. You needed your IT guys who helped with networking and security. Then you needed your SRE guys. Then you needed your database guys. You needed your server box guys. You needed someone to manage the physical connections between networks before everything became cloud. You needed way more people. Now, since everything is so abstracted away, you have things like Docker. You don't need someone to maintain local running instances of your servers. You don't need someone to do any of that stuff. You have stuff like Terraform, stuff like React, where one developer can create the entirety of Twitch in an hour if he wanted to. This was not impossible back in the day, but you just couldn't do it this fast. But with that requirement comes the requirement that one person should have touched many more pots. The average developer today needs to know way more topics than they did back in the day. And you don't need to know them all well, but you need to be sufficiently capable of picking up any of them relatively quickly. And it's just an interesting thing because the software developers, I think, are at risk for stuff like that the most. The libraries get better, things get better. And now, like, if you look at how many engineers it takes to run something like Discord, you'd be shocked compared to the revenue, because a company that produced that much revenue back in the day, you'd have to be employing at least maybe 100,000 people or something like that. But this is all being, output by just like a couple thousand people, and that's kind of crazy. So either way, rant over. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. And even some of the AI art stuff. Yeah, crazy times. So with all this though, I personally think ChatGPT is pretty cool, and it'll just be interesting to see how the world changes from here, because I feel like some people have been able to ignore AI for a little while now. Because AI art was okay, it was impressive, but this is something else, and it's really going to start to beg the question: if you're a writer at a journalism company, and your manager wants you to write a piece or an op-ed on something that's happening, there we had stuff like GPT-3 and GPT-2 already, but the output wasn't that impressive. Now you'll actually be questioning, did you, as the writer who's under you, did they just pump it into ChatGPT? And it's kind of hard not to ask what's going on anymore now in AI. If you're a 6th grade teacher, 8th grade teacher, high school teacher, it really begs the question. So it's always just interesting and quite exciting as well. But I always worry about certain things because, we might lose some things along the way. If we're looking at the competitive realm of some of these aspects like writing and Instagram and posting and art and stuff like that, you're in the public space, you're in the meta space, people are going to compete. And as we know with every single video game, when the best strategy comes out, it is the meta. So in the competitive space, the meta always rules. And if the meta always rules, it rules because it is the most powerful strategy, at least right now, until someone beats it. So I surmise that, you're going to have to be able to use both AI and whatever you're doing in your regular work in the competitive space. But I think in the personal love space, just the enjoyment space, it's going to be the same. I create some arts, but I don't expect, I do it for the fun of it. I don't expect to be, go into the competitive space with it. So I see why people are upset about AI art in the competitive space, but in the love for it space, you can still do it for fun. You can still write for fun. In fact, writing with ChatGPT is more fun because you can automate the parts you hate. So, yeah. At the end, we'll probably just end up with Jarvis-like things, or we can just like, from a high level, abstract out things that, you know, we think are interesting. I mean, we'll just stay at the high and the abstract. But that being the case, even though ChatGPT can solve pretty much every LeetCode problem in any language, in any implementation, we're still going to grind LeetCode because why not? It's fun, but also hard, and so we can't lose the ethic, we can't lose the ethos of hard work. So hopefully we'll get there. I'd like to ingest all this in my brain. That way we could go even faster. So that being said, we have quite a few comments today. So we have been blessed. We'll start with Aurelius. Legendary profile picture as well. Comment for the extra stall if you need it. Bless up. Yeah, I appreciate the turnout. Joseph Reps, good stuff, man. Respect the grind. Anguished emoji, tongue emoji, sweating, tired emoji, bandage emoji, cowboy emoji. So, legendary man, legendary comment by a legendary human. We have Peter Peterson. There's no way this is true. I suck at coding. At least I think that. You motivated me to go for one daily challenge a day as well. Started directly after video. Thanks and keep it, buddy. Greetings from Germany. Bless up, Peter. Bless up. We need you, Peter. We see you. We see you. We're in the LeetCode. Okay, we're not in the LeetCode servers, but we see you. We're not also monitoring you without your consent, but we see you. That is amazing, man. You give me a push today. Love from the States to Germany. Hey, Deva, commenting for the algo. You are the God King. Bless up, man. Wow, we got some really nice comments today. Ashes of Osiris. I appreciate you being so real with your struggles on day 169. I'm currently struggling to balance work and school, so it connected pretty well with everything going on. Keep LeetCoding, bro. You got this. We got this. Appreciate you opening up on the internet with me, brother. Hey, feel strong, man. Yeah, it gets tough. It gets tough. So we just got to stay in there. We got to stay in the box and keep fighting. We have a legendary comment and profile picture from Giovanni Barozzi. This channel is gonna blow up. Hey, never give up, man. You're an okay. I can't take that one. I can't take that one, man. I'm just trying to get like Ivan. I'm just trying to get like Ivan, man. That man has been squatting for damn near 1,100 days. So I just want to get like Ivan, man. Also like my mom. My mom is a legendary grinder, and the work ethic is something I'd just like to be able to reach one day, so I can finally feel like I did something, or I finally tried hard at something. So I'm trying to get like Ivan and you, man. Let's do this. Legendary comments, man. Feel strong. Absolutely feel strong. Yeah, that's really cool. Day 171, and we got some pretty cool comments from the gang. I wonder what day today is. It would be 172. So we'll change that there. And then let's do a thick owie. Let's do a thick owie and see what we can get to work with. Did we solve this already? We did indeed solve check most equivalent. Oh yeah, I was trolling on toplets, and then we have a few more to do. So let's see what we can get through today and get even further. So we're going to do an owie. An owie for a thowie. Shall we? And yeah, let's get to work. So I'm going to hit the play button and let us begin. So we had the toplets matrix problem, for which I decided to just go back to my original implementation because I started trolling with the sum, even though the sum idea should work. But we were just getting some really bad cases. So we're just going to do it regularly. We should be able to just start in the top left here, right? and check diagonally to make sure that they match. And then we'll go -1 so that we don't go out of bounds, and we should be able to do this going downwards, subtracting the last one, because the edges of the matrix will always never have, something diagonally to them. And then we'll do the same for the columns. For matrix.0.length -1, we pretty much only interested in 2 and 3. We're going to want to iterate through the rows, and the question will be, how many rows do we have access to? So here we in the 1th column, we only have access to 3 total rows. So it could just be the length of the rows minus the current index that we're looking at, right? And if we do that, we'll say row equals call, which we definitely don't want to do. We want to start row at 0. We'll say row is less than matrix.length -1, right? Which is fine, row plus plus. We'll say if matrix sub row sub call, but we don't want to go there yet because it's not matrix.length -1. And maybe we also want to subtract the column we're at, right? So if we're at column index 1 here, and we're going to iterate over the rows, the next row we'd like to go to, because our range right now is row 0 to length -1, which would be index 2, which is actually fine. When we go to 3, however, we'll be in column 0, 1, 2, right? And then we'll be going, our range will be from row 0 to matrix.length -1, which actually is out of bounds here. So if we want to say matrix.length -1 minus the column, which would give us 0, 1, 2 minus 2 actually, I don't think you want to skip the n. I think we literally want to do minus call. So we'll subtract 0, or we'll subtract 1. Right, we'll subtract 1 in the case of 2, because this will be index 1. So we have 0, 1, 2, which is perfect. And then here with 3, we'll be in column 0, 1, 2. So we'll have row 3 here, and then our height, if we ask it, right, how many rows we're going to go through, do matrix.length, which is 3, minus column, which is 2, and our range is going to be 0 to 1. So we'll say if matrix sub row sub call does not equal matrix row plus 1, call plus 1, then we'd like to return false. And I think this should work. I also just have to remove this part here. Yeah, so that was a little, I knew we could always do this, but I like to try different stuff sometimes, and yeah, I just wished this should be n times n time, because we're only looking through the entire matrix once. We have a double for loop here, but it only looks through the bottom half of the matrix, and this next one up here only looks through the top half of the matrix. So in totality, we would only ever visit the whole matrix once, so it should be n times n with constant space. So I wonder if there's a sum. Oh wait, we didn't check the follow-up. What if the matrix is stored on disk and the memory is limited so that you can only load at most one row of the matrix into the memory at once? And the memory is limited such you can only... In both cases, I would use my sum version, but the sum version kind of is balls. I think the sum version is kind of balls. The matrix is stored on disk and memory is limited such that you can only load at most one row of the matrix into memory. Yeah, I would use the sum version. And then we could iterate through each row after that and just take the first one. So yeah, I would use the sum version. We would sum the entirety of the matrix, and then we should be able to sum the whole thing just based off the first row in the first column if we could get the algorithm to work. And even if this would work, even if we could only load a partial row into the memory at once. It would be slower though. We ask what feature makes two coordinates R1 and C1 and R2 and C2 belong to the same diagonal. Turns out two coordinates are on the same diagonal if and only if R1 minus C1 equals R2 minus C2. Let's check that. So here we have row 1 and column 1. Then here we have 2 and 2. And they both equal the same thing. They do this by iterating over the entire matrix, and if the group does not contain a key, it will put a key of R minus C in the matrix RC. We get the other thing in the we get the other one for the diagonal on it. This is the one we did, but their version is way more elegant. Why is that? They check if the R and the C are in bounds. The matrix of R minus 1, C minus 1 is not equal. I guess you could just batch it. They're basically just going through and always checking the diagonal, except they're checking the top left, not the bottom right. Now, I wonder why that is. I think I'm trying to overthink these problems. Well, we should keep moving. Check if the sentence is pangram. Pangram is a sentence where every letter. A pangram is a sentence where every letter of the English alphabet appears at least once. Given a string sentence containing only lowercase English letters, return true. I don't think design parking system. Oh, these are actual problems. I'm pretty sure I've done Excel sheet column title. Oh no, this problem dunked on us like a month ago. September, no, about 3 months ago. I actually couldn't beat this problem. Oh no, I did. I think I did. No, wait. I guess we didn't. I'm sure I did though. Go at it. Maybe it's time to fry it. Ugly number, I'm pretty sure I skipped as well. Design a parking system for a parking lot. The parking lot has 3 kinds of parking spaces: big, medium, and small. Big, medium, and small, with a fixed number of slots for each size. Parking system int big, int medium, and small initialize the object of the parking system class. Number of slots for each parking space are given as part of the constructor. Bool add car checks whether there is a parking space of car type for the car that wants to get into the parking lot. Car type can be of 3 kinds: big, medium, or small, which are represented by 1, 2, or 3. A car can only park in a parking space of its car type. If there is no space available, return false, else park the car in that size space and return true. So we have 3 parking spaces, 1 small, 1 medium, 1 and 0 big. We can park 1 small, so we should have true. We should be able to park a medium as well. True, false, true. Oh yeah, true, true. Oh, false. Oh yeah, we're out of spots for 1. It seems like we could just keep track. It seems like the spacing on this is slightly. Oh no, wait. Did I slide this one up? So let's think about this. We'll have small equals 0. We'll duplicate this. And we'll say this dot small equals small. And then we'll have add car type, number, Boolean. So once we get a car for a particular type, we can literally just say it's kind of ghetto to just write 3 if statements. I just feel ghetto to write 3 if statements. Oh, maybe it'll be the first time we use a switch statement. What if we do switch car type? Okay, this is getting epic now. Case 1 Doesn't like my syntax for car type. So do case 1. Oh, wait, no. This, I was going to say we can do when we go out of bounds, when we go negative. Actually, maybe this is fine. Let's just do 3 if statements. Something feels ghetto about 3 if statements, but it's not car type equals 1. I mean, car type equals 1. Then we'll say this dot small is equal to this dot small we'll just subtract 1. Otherwise, we'll set it equal to 0. Then we'll return this dot small is greater than 0. Actually, we can just say this dot. Oh wait, can you add? Oh no, this is the constructor. Something feels really ghetto about this solution. I don't know how to put my finger on it. Or maybe I don't understand the problem. The output is false, true, true. How is this false when we're given... What's the order that these are given in? Oh, it's reversed. No, it's big, medium, small. So car type is equal to 1. This dot small minus equals 1. That means this will small be equal to 0. Return this dot small is greater than or equal to 0. It is. We should return true. I'm not following, actually. Oh, this version, right. So when we get 1, yeah, there's no space for any small cars, so I'm not understanding. I think I see what's going on. I think it's supposed to be like this. Yeah, I got the car types confused, and so we're checking the if statement is wrong. So that was my bad. I didn't finish reading the problem, but I feel like I could solve it. But I needed to read the problem to know that the car type I was using was wrong. You're given a 2D integer array logs where each log sub I is the birth sub I, the death sub I. We have an array of tuples indicates the birth and death years of the ith person. The population of some year is the number of people alive during that year. The ith person is counted in year x's population if x is in the inclusive range is the number of people alive during that year. The ith person is counted in year x's population if x is in the inclusive range of birth sub I to death sub I minus 1. Note that the person is not counted in the year that they die. Person is not counted in the year that they die. I guess that's why they mean death sub I minus 1. Return the earliest year with the maximum population. This one is definitely stumping me. The population of some year X is the number of people alive during that year. The ith person is counted in year X's population. Well, we know that the set of the possible number of years is all the numbers in the array. I think we can do this in 3 steps. For each year in the logs, go over all logs and check if within birth sub I to death sub I minus 1. If so, increment If so, increment years population in map. Afterwards, you can do 2 passes to check. Actually, since we're already at n squared, maybe we'll see. You can do 2 passes to check max population. Actually, we can just keep track of max population. I wonder if the array is already sorted. If we sorted it by logs first, actually it doesn't matter since it's unsorted. 2 passes. Yeah, we'd have to sort it. Sort logs by time sub I. And then we'll keep track of max pop. And then we'll have 2. Then we'll iterate over logs and return the first year equal to max pop. So to do all this, we're first going to have to sort logs dot sort A and B. We want this to be in ascending order because we want the earliest time. So we'll say A sub 0 minus B sub 0. Should give it to us in ascending order. Then we want to keep track of max pop, which will be equal to negative infinity. And we want to iterate for each year in the log. So to do that, we'll have to say for const birth death year of logs right, and then we'll do the same thing we'll say inner year and then up here we're going to have the map of we'll map years to pop. This is going to be a new map of number to number. And then we'll just say if birth year is greater than or equal to inner birth and birth year is less than, I should have said inner death, minus 1, inner death minus 1, then we'll say birth year, say years to pop is going to set dot set years to pop dot get birth year plus 1, and then we can duplicate the same thing but for death year. then we say max pop equals negative infinity. We should just be able to iterate over const year pop of years to pop, and just say max pop equals math dot max of max pop and pop. And then we can do another iteration. And then here we can do is just say if years to pop dot get birth year equals max pop, then we'll return birth year. Otherwise, we'll duplicate this line and do and I feel, let's see. My output was 1950. Let me do console.log. Yes, the issue 1960 should have 2. I think we need to be less, that was my issue, less than or equal to. They expected 2011, I returned 2008. Oh, so it's okay. I think I see now. Okay, wow. Wait, no, wait. There's no 20. Oh, 20. Okay, no. 2011 is in here. I'm wondering if we don't need to count death year. Looks like we don't. I returned 1966. They wanted 1991. Now, why is 1966 so high? Check everywhere 1966 is, or what's in the range. 1954. 1, 2, 3. Let me read the problem again. Given a 2D integer array logs where each log sub I is equal to birth sub I, death sub I indicates the birth and death years of the ith person. The population of some year x is the number of people alive. So some year x is the number of people alive during that year. Ith person is counted in year x's population if x is in the inclusive range birth sub I, comma, death sub I minus 1. Oh, the person is not counted in the year that they died. Something's off. I see. There can be multiple years that exist. So we only want to count each year once. So we'll say if map if years to pop dot has birth year, we'll just continue. That was kind of miserable. Pretty slow though. You have to sort. What's the point of the sort? You just want it to sort to know which one to return first. But there's no point in doing that because we can just keep track of max pop up here. We don't get any benefit from sorting it earlier. So if we sort it down here, in fact, if we just sort years to pop instead, but first we'll spread it into an array of tuples, and we'll sort them all by their population in descending order. We should just be able to return I hope this is faster. There's still a sort. We're sorting a much smaller. No, wait, we still want it in ascending because we want the earliest one. Yeah, you actually can't return. I don't know why I was thinking you could do that. You can definitely tell the session's gone on too long. But either way, it's simpler if we just sort a smaller data set. You can just say we'll just say if pop equals max pop return year. Oh no, I guess we'd want to sort them. It's still awful runtime, but I think we'll stop there. My brain is kind of fried, and yeah.